Hello students, welcome to YouTube channel Vidya for Success. Dear students, in this video, let us study the concept of tabulation. Already, we know how to classify the data. Classification and tabulation are almost similar with a very thin line of distinction. So, we will be collecting the data after our investigation. So, once these data after investigation is with us, you cannot consider them for analysis because first of all the data are in a huge pile, huge bulk of data is there with us. You cannot precisely say what the data is telling us, what information is hidden within the data, we cannot say. So, in order to better understand, in order to compare, in order to analyze the data, we need to first of all classify them depending upon their characteristic. Along with that, we need to consider another step, that is tabulation. So, what is tabulation? Very simple. Tabulation is nothing but putting forward the collected and classified data in a table. Okay. So, this is what tabulation is meant by. So, a tabular data, a data with presented in terms of a table will give you a better picture, will help you to understand the things in a better perspective. So, that is why always we would like to go with a tabulated data. So, what is tabulation? It is the process of systematic arrangement of the data in rows and columns in the form of table. So, already we know what is a table. Table is nothing but collection of rows and columns. So, if the collected data is put forward in terms of a table or else in terms of rows and columns in a systematic manner, then that particular procedure or process is called as tabulation. So, as I told you earlier, there is no much difference between classification and tabulation. Okay. So, classification and tabulation are not two distinct processes, they go hand in hand. Now, let us talk about the objectives of tabulation. Why we need to consider tabulation? What are the So, the first objective is it simplifies the complex data. As soon as we collect the data, we compile the data after the survey or after the investigation, the data collected or gathered will be too huge. They will be complex in nature. Different types of data are kept at one place. So, we can't understand, we cannot come to a conclusion, we cannot take up any decision. So, if you want to take up a decision, if you want to come up with a idea, then these data, they first of all need to be classified and they need to be put forward in a tabular way. So, that is why always tabulation, it helps us to simplify the complex data. The second objective, to facilitate comparison. Let us say that in the table there is a data concerned with the performance of a particular college. As we know, college will be having boys as well as girls. So, here if I would like to compare the results of performance of boys vis-a-vis with girls, then that can be easily done with the help of a table. If the data is presented in a table, then I can easily compare. On the other hand, if data is just laying without in terms of table, then it will be difficult for me to compare. So, that is why always it is best to compare when the data is in terms of tabular way or table fashion. Next, the third objective is to give an identity to the data. What do you mean by giving identity to data? It means if the data is just in a plain nature, they are not classified, they are not in terms of table, then we cannot identify or else we cannot dig out for the information. If you are not able to dig out for the information or else we cannot identify each valuable piece of data, then the whole process or exercise of collecting the data is of no use. For example, once the exams are finished for a particular student, then he will be getting a marks card. So, in his marks card, he will be getting data, but how the data will be put forward in terms of a table. So, name of the student followed by marks, minimum marks, maximum marks that can be scored, and along with his performance. So if a particular student has gained around, let us say, 100 out of 100 in a particular subject, so we can precisely say, we can identify that particular valuable data. Similarly, at the same moment, if a student has secured below 35 or 25, then also we can identify that piece of data. So always tabular data helps or facilitates identification of the data in a best possible way. And the fourth objective, to reveal the trend and tendencies of the data. So how it is possible? Let us say that we have collected data regarding to 10 year period of sugar production or sugar cane production. So when we are having data concerning to 10-year sugarcane production, then automatically we can say, or we can think about what's going to happen very next year, or else two years down the line. Nothing but we are expecting, or else we can say what will be the trend. We can say what will be the tendencies, whether there will be an increase or decrease. For example, you can aram say what is the trend or tendencies going with the gold price. So always it is following a steeper curve. So that's why if the data is put forward in a tabular fashion, then we can estimate what will be the trend values. Similarly, the fifth one is, for diagrammatic and graphical representation, a tabulated data is essential. For example, if you want to put forward the data in terms of histogram, or maybe in bar diagram or pie chart, for any of the thing, if you want to represent it in a proper tabular graphical pattern, then the best way that is possible is via the tabulated data. If the data is present in tabulated form, then you can usually present them in diagrammatic or graphical representation. The sixth objective is, it facilitates computation of various statistical measures like averages, dispersion, correlation, etc. What do you mean by this? If after collecting the data, if they are put forward in a proper tabular format, then on these tabulated data we can find what is the average, we can find what is the dispersion of data, and what is the correlation, regression, standard deviation, quartile deviation. All these statistical measures can be easily implemented on the tabulated data. So if you want to perform further statistical analysis on a piece of data, then that data need to be present in tabular fashion. Then only it is easy. So these are the objectives of tabulation. So with this particular idea, why already now we came to a conclusion that it is always best if the data is put forward in table. If the data is in rows and columns, then we can analyze it in a better way. So with this conclusion, with this idea, let us study next how a table should be created. That is, what should be the general format of a table. As you can notice on the screen, each and every table, maybe in your textbook or in a newspapers or magazine, wherever they are available, they need to have a certain characteristics. They need to adhere to the rules of general format. So what is a format and what all things a particular table should consist? Let us go through each one of them. So the first and foremost thing here is, each and every table must have a table name. Let us say you are preparing a project report on a particular subject. That project report may consist of hundreds of tables. So if I want to narrate, if I want to explain any of the content considering a particular table, then a table should carry a table number. Then only it will be easy. So that's why each and every table should have a table number, and usually this table number will be written at the top right corner. Okay, so using which we can easily distinct one table from another, and it will be easy for us for reference. Followed by the table number, the very important thing for each and every table is a title. So this particular title will explain, will give us a clear picture regarding what the table is talking about. So a title should indicate in very short manner the content of a table. For example, we may be having a table regarding the pattern of monsoon. in which particular month there was rain, in which heavy rain or scanty rain, like that. So a table will be having data, and data is concerned to what it will be in a very short manner it will be explained using the title. And below the title within parenthesis we will be having subtitles, or also called as head note. So what is the subtitle or head note? So it is a brief explanatory note or statement just for the understanding of what the table consists of. In the table usually we will be having data. Let us say we are measuring the height of students. So then how are you going to measure the height of the students? What is the parameter used? Whether we have gone with centimeters or whether we have gone with feet. Similarly, if we are measuring the money, for example, let us say we have considered 10 different countries or 10 different nations. Now we are measuring their GDP. So GDP is measured in what? Or else their per capita income is measured in what? Whether they are measured in hundreds of rupees or thousands or millions, lakhs. Similarly, production of raw materials or what any particular good, how they are measured, whether they consider tons or units or kg, what is that particular unit. All these details they will be given within this parenthesis either as a subtitle, or you can also refer to it as head note. Followed by this, the next thing we consider is the captions, also called as column headings. So what do you mean by captions? So as I told you earlier, a table is a formation of rows and columns. We will be having too many rows, that is horizontal rows, and vertical columns we will be having. So each column need to have a heading so that we can identify data is about, it's speaking about what. So then only we can come to a conclusion. So that's why each column need to have a particular heading. So these column headings are referred as captions. So they explain what the column represents. Okay, and usually columns are always written in 1 or 2 words, because a table may have around, let us say, 10 columns or 15 columns. Then if you consider very big lengthy names, it will be difficult for us to include them. So that's why you have to go with 2 or more 1 or 2 words. Okay, next, followed by this, the next heading here is subheadings. Next, another important component within the table is subheadings. Subheadings is also referred as row headings. So these are all rows. So within a table, even row need to be identified, which we are working with which particular row. This particular row speaks about what. So then we need to go with row headings. So what are stubs? Stubs are nothing but row headings. They explain what the row represents. That's all. Okay, again, once again, you need to follow the same rule. Here we need to consider 1 or 2 words for these row headings, not more than that. Next, finally, after considering the captions and after considering the stubs, now we need to go with the body of the table. So this particular area is referred as a body of the table, in which we will be considering or enclosing all the data values. Okay, nothing but numerical data. So the table should be well balanced. What do you mean by well balanced? A table should not have too many columns and very less rows. And even it should not have too many rows and very less columns. It should be an appropriate ratio. We have to maintain very appropriate and healthy balanced number of columns as well as number of rows. And it should be according to the size of the paper. If the paper is very small and we are considering too many columns means, then we cannot be able to read the data in a proper way. So that's why there should be a well balanced number of rows and columns according to the size of the paper. Next, at the bottom left hand side, you can notice there is another important component of a table, that is footnote. So what do you mean by footnote? Footnotes are nothing but explanation given in very brief manner. Maybe explanation or as clarification concerned with certain conclusions, maybe with remarks, inferences. You may be omitting something, nothing but we are omitting some omissions, or else we may be adding few things, that's additions, or its abbreviations, etc. will be given here. Okay, if you go through the tables provided in the newspapers or magazines, they will be come up with the star mark, that is conditions applied or conditions imposed. So they will be applying their star marks or some cap like notations. So here in the footnote we will explain what does 1 star means, what does 2 star or 3 star, or else what does a particular abbreviation stands for. All those things are explained via the footnote, because we will not be having the facility to explain everything in the table, because within the column headings and row headings we can have only 1 or 2 words, not more than that. So in case if you have to give little more extra explanation, that can be provided via the footnote. Followed by the last component is source. Yes, we have gathered data from different methods, from different sources. Maybe we have gathered data from a municipal office, from a particular website or a particular magazine or newspaper, whatever may be the source. So always, it is always good to mention what is the source of the data. Okay, so below, always at the end of the table we will be considering the source of the data. So this is the general format of a table. So with this I am going to end the video. Thank you.